Yeah, so thanks a lot, Christian, and thanks for inviting me also, Armin, to give this talk. It's a great pleasure to say a few words about my personal opinion, where I think where we might head in the future. And happy birthday, Gottfried Konecny. It's a great pleasure for me to have the chance to say a few words. So what's the future Quo Vadis Photogrammetry? And if we think about the future, it's, as was said previously, good to look a bit at the present and look at our strength of our community. And in this sense, it's might be a good idea to look at the top publications in our field, which are those that have received this UV Halounova award. There are many others out there, but this is a small selection. And turns out, not surprisingly, that we are very good at mapping and measuring accurately. So the 2019 paper design and evaluation of full waveform surface and bottom detection algorithm for light bathymetry of very shallow waters is a typical paper from our field where we come up with an interesting algorithm to investigate a new sensor basically and map something. 2018 paper is a classical, it's a mapping paper, how to map urban assets basically in the street. Then the overall winner of the whole decade is absolutely a paper that touches the core of our community, the bundle adjustment with the raw inertial observations, the UAV applications. And then the 2016 paper is again a mapping thing. And this is something I think we should be proud of and keep in mind if we think about the future and the positioning of our society and of our community, also with respect to sister societies. Let's say the computer vision community, IEEE and so on, we can be proud of that. This is the true strength of ours, that we are good at mapping and measuring accurately. Now a few thoughts from my side. What is the future? And this is not exhaustive, of course. I wouldn't have the time and I will keep it short here. So something that I find absolutely astonishing and inspiring is something that is called physics constrained or informed deep learning. So this is part of machine learning or artificial intelligence, if you will. And this is something I think will make a big splash. It has not arrived in our community yet, a bit in computer vision, a bit more in computer graphics. And this is basically something that we have been dreaming of for a long time, because this is marrying the two worlds of model-based forward modeling and data-driven approaches. So on the one side, you have a neural network, any kind of deep net architecture you can have today. And on the other hand, you have partial differential equations. And you don't have to look at the equations. They are not important in this context. But the really cool thing is that now you can really put in sophisticated prior and domain knowledge like Navier-Stokes equations to model hydraulic fluid flow or Schrödinger equations, really put them into something that is learnable, which makes the whole process transparent. You can see what you learn, you can constrain it, and it correlates with the physical world. So it's no longer a black box, so to speak. So this is something I find very exciting. Another thing is, of course, that this new world of deep learning and AI and all the tools that we have already in our toolbox as photogrammetrists opens new ways to work on multimodal, multi-sensor, and multi-temporal data. And the interesting thing here is from my point of view, to now with all these new tools that we have in machine learning, to rethink current methods. So bundle adjustment, all of this is a good example. And combine all these different data sources at once. And this is one example of a recent publication. It's basically, instead of doing classic bundle adjustment, all of this, we can have a look at the graph convolutional neural network. So this is something learnable, still it can be constrained. And a lot of the sort of errors and everything that we also express and model in least squares adjustment and so on, you can view it now from a new perspective. And if you take a new perspective, there's a lot of new and cool ideas that come up, I hope. And then there's something that I find very important to mention here. And this goes beyond this one single technical idea. And I said before that we are very good at mapping and measuring accurately. And I would want to encourage us as the community and all the young people that are listening to go one step beyond that. So do not stop after measuring. Look for the underlying causal relationships for the problems you are measuring. And this is an example that my group, we are doing a joint collaboration with NASA, where we basically try to come up with a global biomass model of the Earth's surface at 10-meter resolution and basically update it on the fly. And this is the measuring part, but now I think the important questions are why and how questions. So why is deforestation happening? And this is something where you cannot just stay in your office. You have to go to the field, you have to talk to the people. And this is also a connection to Gottfried Konecny. This is what he is absolutely excellent at, and what he is teaching us to do that, to connect with the people, talk to them, and do in situ investigations. Do not stay solely on a technical level. And another question, for example, how does a changing climate impact our planet? And I believe us as photogrammetrists and we as a society, we can have a big impact in this direction. So, and in this sense, I would want to encourage everyone, let us be braver. We think across disciplines by education, a lot of us, and let us capitalize more on our strengths. So when I look at the Sustainable Development Goals, basically to all of the goals, we can say something, we can contribute something. And this is a, let's say, almost unique position of our field. There's not many other fields that come to my mind who have this position. And then I think about how come we never write nature papers, or at least maybe we submit, but we rarely get accepted. Yeah. So, and I think it could be resolved and we could make bigger impact and really capitalize more on our strength if we really focus and again, like Gottfried did in his career, to tackle problems that are of global societal relevance. So something that is really important to changing something to the better of the planet. And then a word on science diplomacy, because this is an absolutely important part, as it has always been like this, but again, in today's world, I feel this is something absolutely essential. And I'm quoting Clive Fraser here, who said this. So what keeps ISPRS together, it's social, I believe. And we have seen this in past presentations. And we have seen this also in Gottfried's attitude to his work and his science, that we are not only colleagues, but we are often friends. And this is something that is mirrored in all the events that we organize. So, and this is again a very important thing that distinguishes us from, let's say, the computer vision community, because our events, they are designed to foster original research, so on a high technical level, but we also allow participation networking for those who cannot compete on that level yet. And instead of being an exclusive elite club, like some other societies are, we have this participatory philosophy. And I think this is yeah, absolutely essential, and we should keep on working on that. So in this sense, I believe we should be proud of what we have achieved and should have the courage to move on also in the same direction in the future. Because from my point of view, ISPRS contributes to a peaceful world by supporting evidence-based decision-making informed by science. So my final words here. So Quo Vadis Photogrammetry. I think we should think across disciplines and should really have the courage to lead novel efforts that have global environmental and science societal impact. At the same time, I believe it would be wonderful to give more responsibilities to younger scientists at earlier stages of their career already, because most of the ideas and the most creative, it's them. It's the younger scientists, and they are our future. So keep investing in sharing scientific progress and expanding our network. And in this sense, I would wish we could include more women in our community, more Africa, more Latin America, and more Asia to really achieve our goals. And finally, let us be brave and think big with our society and our community. How can we improve the state of the world? So thanks a lot for listening.